So why aren't we applying that same thinking around fundamentals in our bodies? And it turns out balance is an easy one that comes up. And remember, one of the things that we're always kind of going back and forth with, this isn't just for your parents. We spend a lot of time working on balance and foot strength with all of our athletes because we find it to be such a competitive advantage. So what's good for the goose is also good for the gander. And we're interested in technology and ideas that scale up and down. Whether I'm trying to rebuild my ankle awareness after an ankle sprain, or I want to, set a world record, having strong, rad feet makes a huge difference.
I think it's great that you guys came from the background of helping people get out of pain, because pain is it's really complicated. It's a complex, complicated thing. And a lot of times I know some people were going to you guys as like last resort. They went everywhere. They tried everything. They tried all the painkillers. They tried surgeries. They tried so many different things. And you're able to peel back the layers. And there is like some simplicity probably once you start to really think about pain. As you always say, like things are upstream, downstream. And then you get into hydration, your sleep, what's your lifestyle like? And so I think it's really cool the way that you guys have transitioned into talking about the stuff that you're talking about today, because is so related to how you diffused a lot of people's pain.
And let me just say that, where are people going to have that conversation? It doesn't happen in the physician's office because she does not have enough time to have that conversation with you. She's got 6 or 8 minutes to figure out, tell me what your sleep looked like for the last 3 months, Mark, or the stress. That's not the place for that conversation. The place we learned to have that conversation was in the gym. That was where we could have conversations about nutrition and, hey, why are you wearing those shoes? And what's going on? And my knee hurts. And what did you do for your knee that made you feel better? And now we're saying, can we take those lessons and then hand them over to our neighbors? Again, if the unit of change is the neighborhood, right, then what we wanted to do was also create a book that you could give to your mom or dad or uncle or neighbor to say, hey, I see that you're interested. You're asking me a lot of these questions. Start here. Let's get you kind of spun up on some basics, and then we can have the next conversation.
One of the things I like to tell people too is almost every time Kelly does a speaking engagement, he asks the crowd, which is 5 people or 1,000 people, how many of you are in pain? And like 98% of people raise their hands. And so I think this goes back a little bit to what I was saying at the beginning about what people care about. And, again, there's so many people who do want to be healthy and be out of pain. But I think we've really not done a great job in the fitness business because I think we think that they want to have shredded abs and, and follow the perfect diet and look a certain way on Instagram, when really most people
they're not on Instagram.
Even many people who are were college athletes and legit athletes at some point in their life, but they could care less about a lot of the things we think in the industry they care about. What most of those people care about is can I live without chronic pain, and can I do the things with my body that I want to be able to do? And up till now, there hasn't been any accessible way for people to get some really basic information. And, one of the things, we haven't even talked about it yet, but there is a lot of sort of movement-based mobility type chapters in this book as well. Tests, so that people can get a benchmark. Because, speaking of pain, as Mark, it's one of the big issues is poor mechanics and lack of range of motion. And people don't even know that they should care about that. They don't even know. I mean, we've been beating that drum for a while, and I know you care and you guys care, but
when I met Mark couldn't put his shoes on.
Without sitting down?
Without maybe using a stick.
It's still hard. My feet are so far away from the rest of my body.
You're not wrong. But I want to just give
They're getting further and further away, I think.
And showing, because a lot of people are like, can this change? I'm like, you have no idea how much you can change. You have no idea. Your body never stops healing. It never stops remodeling. And if I cut you in half and counted the rings, there are some years back there look like forest fires and droughts, right? And then all of a sudden,
you survived a lot of droughts.
All of a sudden, I look at now and I'm like, oh, look, there's wind and hair and all these things happening, and it really just shows that if you start to begin to be consistent on some of these behaviors, they start to aggregate and roll, and you have no idea how much you can change and make the system more robust. You really can. I don't know if it was just that moment where you fell with 1,000 pounds. Is that the moment that you were like, wait a minute, maybe it's not just 1,001 or 1,007 or 1,008, there's something else to this whole system.
I just know that my fat friend Jesse Burdick was the one that kind of just encouraged me to walk after I fell with that weight, and he was like, you know, he would tell me, yeah, just, you know, go for, and I couldn't walk very well because I was in a lot of pain, but I just started walking, and then eventually the walking turned into running. You know, it took many years. It took like 10 years, but just the encouragement to walk was big. And then I think I wanted to try to turn it into something else, but I wasn't really able to. And I would try and turn it into something else. I would try to like even just like walk with like a weight vest, or like I tried to make it harder than it needed to be or more complicated. And it just didn't need to be. And I just learned, I was like, I'm just going to keep walking. And so I would walk, I don't know, 2 miles a day for a little while, and then 3 miles.
Yeah, you did your 10-minute
and
walks. You would do like a bunch of 10-minute walks all the time.
Yeah.
So did you do anything else besides walking to get out of pain?
Yeah,
I mean, and
obviously.
losing weight?
Power Project family, how's it going? Now, sleep is essential for your recovery and your performance, which is why we partner with 8 Sleep mattresses. We call them the Tesla of beds. Changes its temperature based off how you sleep. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, head over to 8sleep.com/powerproject, and at checkout, you guys will automatically save $150 off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
Losing weight and walking to...
Yeah, obviously the diet and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean, I was 330 pounds. You guys remember, I mean, you guys were there with me for a lot of that. And yeah, I just had to make changes. You know, I was doing stuff at that time that I thought was in my best interest to do the best I possibly could on the platform and in the sport of powerlifting. That's a sport I love. And so I was just throwing down as hard as I could in that realm. And when it chewed me up and spit me out, I was smart enough to recognize it. And I said, I think that's it.
Human beings are
that's
the
it.
only animal we think, like, I should fit in the same jeans I wore in college when I was 19. Like, that's crazy. We're the only, like, you have the same weight your whole life. We should, like, when we
What's
have
your favorite weight?
well, we can get into that. But, you know, we should be able to re-spin up, spin down, retool. I'm interested in this for a while. I feel like I'm too heavy as I ski. I want to get lighter, right? You know, we have that capacity to remodel and change. And your tissues, similarly, your range of motion, as you've proven, has radically changed. You're moving more fluidly. You have access to different shapes and positions. You've always been a good athlete. I think sometimes you don't get kind of the credit for being such a, I think, world champion. I think the
Something
world
like
champion
that.
end or something like that. But you have continued to change and remodel, and your body's right there to be it with you. It takes a little bit longer when you're coming from a 330-pound world champion strong person, but as an allegory for the rest of us, we can improve our range of motion. We can improve these systems. The body doesn't ever turn these capacities off. It just gets harder to access them.
Power Project family, we appreciate you checking out this clip. Check out another one. Just go check out another one. Or comment down below and let us know what you liked about this one. But we love you guys, and we're going to keep bringing you the heat. So comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, okay? Peace.